that's not ridiculous. You know, if you manage to find the one instrument that cuts through more than a fucking tambourine.
It's a kazoo.
Yeah.
It's a fucking kazoo. And I got an electric one upstairs.
Oh, Jesus, God help. Was that invented in general, or did you will that into existence?
I want to say I willed it in, but
I have a feeling like that was made just for you, because no one else would need such a thing.
I've seen pickups for them.
Really?
Yeah, they make pickups for them. The one that she's
What
got.
situation
The one
would
that
you
she's
need
got
that?
is kind of a permanent thing. So if the paper in the kazoo dies, the whole pickup and everything is dead.
It's ridiculous. Hey, will you take a picture of us in studio here?
What?
Yeah.
Did you get the
The light.
OBS going?
Yes.
Oh, the ring light.
I'll see. Professional operation.
Influencer status.
Yeah. Oh, we got a ring light. Got a ring light.
That's way easier to keep that going.
Well, you know, our stages have gotten a lot smaller over the years. Remember when we used to play like big old festivals and shit? Wow.
Yeah, are we already live? Are we
We're
rolling?
recording, yeah.
All right. Let's give it a couple shots. I'm Lisa.
I'm Bob.
I'm
We are the
Frank.
BellRays.
Oh, sorry. I don't know.
Do it.
No, you guys introduce yourself
No,
first.
it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I like it. I
All right.
like it. It's got a fucking train wreck.
It's a keeper.
part of it.
There it is.
Okay, let's do it one more time.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Bob.
I'm
We're-
Frank.
And we're the BellRays.
You knew that I was going to say it. Why would you talk anyway? I guess it is.
Because
your
you're
show, yeah.
not the
That's what she does.
BellRays. Then I
what
was
she
going to
does.
say you're Frank.
Okay, one more time. Take 3.
I'm Lisa.
I'm Bob.
We're the BellRays. And we have with us Mr. Frank Meyer.
Thank you.
Who are you?
I'm Frank.
What are we doing here, Frank? What are we doing here?
Well, we're literally trapped in the closet. As I pointed out earlier, our stages have gotten a lot smaller than they used to be.
For those of you that don't know who Frank is, he's from the Streetwalkin Cheetahs.
And
To
Angus
name
Khan and
one of many
one of
bands, but that's the one that I remember meeting you.
Oh, so many years ago.
Oh, so many years
Oh,
ago.
lo, so many years ago.
Back at the fabled. Now we can say that about the coconut teaser because it doesn't exist anymore, right?
Right.
The fabled coconut teaser.
Yeah.
Many.
Isn't it
years
funny
ago.
how images change? Because for years you were like, oh, where's your gig this at? A coconut teaser. And now you're like, the legendary coconut teasers.
Legendary fabled.
Where we cut our teeth
and everything else.
and everything else. Teeth, lines, whatever have
my
you. Hey,
God.
let's
Oh
everyone
my
calm
God.
down.
Oh my God! This was as Eddie Spaghetti always says, back in the 1900s.
Yeah. Back in the olden times.
But what are we doing here? Why are we here now? We're gonna do one of those really cool cuts from the Vital Gesture Christmas record. For those of you that don't have it, and I have a feeling there are millions of people out there that don't have it.
Yes.
So it's a possibility for everybody else. Sorry, baby. I just want to.
Originally, it was cassette only.
Oh my
and
God!
Then, and then made its way to CD. Back when CDs were,
I
you
know.
new technology.
Back in the day.
Now it's available digitally.
They can. It is available digitally. They can go to thebellrays.com and find it there, and probably other places, but I don't know. I really don't know.
I certainly don't know.
There's a guy in Romania who has one.
We
Call
got
him
these
up
things
and ask
done.
him if he might give it to you.
This is before like everybody had everything set up so that you could just go and get a barcode online and do all this other stuff. I just remember it being a lot of work to get a
Well,
CD
if
done
I could
back
just point
then.
out one little funny thing about that is, and this was back in like '96 or '7 or something when we did it,
96.
is the BellRays said, "Hey, we're doing this Christmas song. come out to our studio in Riverside and come record. And I was like, cool, why don't you give me the address of their studio? And they give me the address. It was like Unit C, and I was like, Unit C. And we get there, and it was a storage facility, like where you would pay to, store your goods and your wares.
Right.
And they had transformed it into a recording studio. Cut to 25 years later, when I'm talking to Lisa the other day, and to my knowledge, these guys have been very successful over the years. Yet when I said, "Can you give me the address of where you're going?" they said, "Blah blah blah blah, Unit G," and I was like, "Unit? They're not still." And I drove up, and lo and behold, we're in a storage space.
It's not a storage space. It's not a storage.
No, I mean technically it's not, but it doesn't feel like we've
Look
moved
at this.
in a great direction.
Christmas shade. Christmas shade.
We've grown from
Who
a
are
15
you?
by 15 foot room
Now you
to
get the
a
sassy.
7.5 by 7 foot room.
Now you get the
Right.
sassy puff.
Except we're
this
actually
is
in
what
the
you get
closet
to-
of that room, and therefore we're in a
That's
2x3.
That's what you get to watch while I'm singing. The puff. You get to look at the back of my puff.
This is a much nicer storage space, though.
He's trying to be funny. He's trying to be funny.
Trying to be is.
He's trying to be funny.
Lisa's usually my biggest fan until she's absolutely not.
Oh yeah. Let me see. Is there room for my ring? We're gonna talk about some things like old memory lane kind of shit. But first, let's sing this song. This is called Christmas Time Again. I think I'm dwarfing Bob too. Is
You're
there?
all right. I'll
sure?
find my way.
This
All right.
hat has a life of its own.
It does.
All right. Ready? I was going to make a joke about a snowball, and I realized that could go in all sorts of
You
directions.
can move up a little bit so you can be closer to the mic.
Like
Frank is gonna be
like
singing.
this far up?
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, what's good for
No,
you
no,
as
no.
far as
No,
the-
cool.
All right,
I'm good
all
here
right.
if you guys are good.
I'm good.
All right. Shall we?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, it's Christmas time again. Hanging with my friends, trying to soak in. It's an easy kind of feeling, just to hang around. And I've gathered up my promises. It's time to set them down. Whoa, it's Christmas time again. Trying to make amends, still trying to fit in. It's a crazy kind of feeling. Let it all hang out.
Let it all hang out.
Hey, and I gathered up my worries. It's time to set them down. So lay down your promise, put on your Sunday gown.
For 20 years.
It's Christmas time again. I can feel it all around.
Can you feel it?
I can now. Whoa, it's Christmas time again. Got my family in the den, getting liquored up again. It's a lazy kind of feeling. Just to have them around.
Just to have 'em around.
And I wrap them all up in my arms and lay my love down. So lay down your weary head, put on your Sunday gown. And it's Christmas time again, I can feel it all around. Come on, Bob, lay one down. Woo! Whoa, it's Christmas time again. Hanging with my friends, trying to soak it in. It's an easy kind of feeling, just to hang around. Well, I've gathered up my promises. It's time to set them down. So lay down your emptiness, put on your Sunday gown. It is Christmas time again.
Cha-cha-cha. Who does that go out to?
Eddie.
Spaghetti man.
Eddie Spaghetti.
Yep. Big props to Eddie.
You're doing stuff with Eddie.
I am.
Yeah.
Well, after years of knowing with each other, we came to the realization that we both had food references in our name. And
I remember those spaghetti and Franks.
yes,
from, like,
yeah. Well, and
spaghetti
I was cursed with 2 hot dog references in my name because I'm Frankfurter.
I never
and Oscar
even
Mayer.
thought about. Oh my
Yeah,
God!
are you kidding?
I never even thought about that.
Every grade schooler I went to was hyper laser focused on that. Hey, you got hot dog? Yeah, I fucking understand. I have hot dog. You get 2 hot dogs. Yeah, you got 2 black eyes in a second.
Ever had your ass kicked?
Yeah,
by a hot dog?
exactly. Yeah, ever been beaten up by a hot dog?
Oh my God! I never even thought about that. I've known you so long, and I've never even thought about that.
Yeah, well, I've thought about it a lot. and then and of course Eddie, spaghetti
Of course.
is right in the title. So we had done, we'd known each other for years, and we'd done some stuff together, and we did a single together at the beginning of the pandemic called Shit's Fucked, which was our eloquent way of describing everything that was going on.
Shit's fucked.
And we were going to do this Tom Petty song, Jam and Me, and we were like, well, let's make this like a thing, let's make it like a band. And I said, well, we should probably call it something. And he was like, it writes itself, Spaghetti and Franks. And within like a day, he had his art
Of course,
guy
that
make
Jim Beluga.
Yeah, and Jim Beluga made us, it was like a can of SpaghettiOs
Jim
with some
Beluga.
hot dogs. And the whole concept just wrote itself.
For those of you that don't know who Jim Beluga is, he's awesome.
He is awesome.
He is the guy that just comes up with all these great ideas, and he's just a huge rock fan.
Yep. And he works fast.
He
and
works
lean and
super
mean.
fast.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So so then we put out this Tom Petty song, and then since then we've been toiling away on a full record, which will be out sometime next year. But the exciting thing for me on that is that we got one of our mutual heroes, Brian Forsythe of Kix, to play lead guitar on the
Nice.
record. So now I've got this guy who, like, when I was a little kid, I just loved him so much, and now he sends me guitar tracks to be on a record.
That's
It's very
so
cool.
awesome. That's so awesome because you were talking about that whole process with us earlier
Yeah.
tonight, and I just think it's really cool. I think it's really cool that during these crazy times, and we call them crazy times because they're different, but if I really had to put it all into context, after us talking about what it used to be like to be on the road, that was a crazy time.
Yeah.
We had to be insane to be doing what we were
Yeah.
doing back then. Like, people don't really know. I was talking to Frank about it and just kind of mentioning that, people used to squawk about paying a higher ticket price or whatever. And then you get to these days and age where people are paying these exorbitant amounts for bands like the Stones and all of these
arena
big
shows,
arena
like
shows,
$350 or $3,000.
arena shows.
for-
People don't even blink. I got to spend $1,000 on the ticket, and they want to tell you how much they spent on it while they show up to your show and ask for free drinks.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Or a discount on a T-shirt.
Or a discount on a T-shirt,
I
or-
didn't go to
or
your show
getting-
because it cost
But-
10 euros.
Right.
Think about it now,
Right.
though. Like, how much would you pay right now to go
Exactly.
to see any band?
Exactly.
Like, if it was, we were talking about, one of the silver linings of the pandemic is that the original lineup of Fishbone is
Exactly.
together. Right now, if you said to me,
Fishbone is red hot.
if you said to the three of us, how much would you pay to go see Fishbone? I'm like, I don't know, $1,000. I mean, everything
We've been
I have.
dreaming of them to get back together, the original guys to get back together.
But I mean, but also now I feel like all those high ticket prices make sense
They
because
do.
we don't have music
They
anymore.
don't. They
But back
do.
then it was everywhere, and people would be like, "Well, if I can't get on the list, I'm not going to come to your show." and
Right.
can I-"
Like
and
they
I'm
were doing you a favor
yeah.
by you going out there and risking your life and bringing rock and roll to everybody individually. I mean, this is something that we really need to think about, people. This really is what goes on in the world and of rock and roll, of music, of creatives. We have to go and figure out ways to put what it is that we do out there into a format where you can get to it. And we had gotten to this point where disposable culture had just kind of made people think, well, it's really not worth it for me to spend money on a record.
Right.
It's really not worth it for me to spend money on.
Or they
these
feel
other
there's
things.
a sort of entitlement, like, "Well, I'll go if I can get on the list."
Right.
And like, so you'll go to entertainment that people are that the band is spending money to go do to perform for you, but
this
you'll
is
only
real.
go if you get in for free.
That's right. This is real.
I can only go if I don't support any of you. Now, as long as you guys keep working and I don't contribute at all, but I'd like to get in
Right.
and I'd like a free beer, please.
Right.
Then I'm cool.
That's
and I'm
right.
Like,
These are people that buy television sets. These are people that buy cell phones. It's all right to spend money on these other things that actually bring you entertainment and bring you these other things. But when you talk about having the actual creators there that have to do those things for you, the lines get blurred.
Yeah.
Or they had in the past.
Yes.
I think that now there is an understanding that there are people that actually do things. And then there are people that do other things.
very well put. Very eloquently put.
That have nothing to do with the people who
Cagey.
do things.
Yeah.
But eloquent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were talking about being in bands back in the 1900s.
Mm-hmm. You see these rings under our eyes. That's from being in bands in the 1900s. By the way, we're all 26 years old.
I know. Actually, that whole thing about, I was thinking about this just recently. That whole Ma Rainey thing just came out on Netflix.
Have you seen the Zappa documentary?
This is a running joke. It's
I've
been
asked
running
that.
all day. Oh my God.
There's a documentary about Frank Zappa. It's called Zappa. It's on Netflix.
And Frank keeps asking me about it as if in the moments that we've been talking that I was able to find it on my
Watch it.
Fitbit.
Flash out of the room.
Just
Yeah.
look on my
I mean,
Fitbit and watch
listen, I don't-
But there used to be a time that nobody was really trying to equate. I mean, I guess if you were a band that established yourself in the 70s, nobody talks about how old you are. But anybody else, that was like a fucking topic of conversation.
Right.
And it doesn't mean anything, There's a bunch of people that are, well, look at Keith Richards. That guy's 200 years old, and he's still doing rock and roll.
Iggy Pop,
And
man.
look at Iggy Pop.
We were talking about Wayne Kramer before.
Wayne Kramer.
Guy never stops.
Never stops, and nobody's questioning it. But somehow it was like a thing when we were coming up in the 1900s, everybody thought that we should all stay perpetually 21. To the point that they made up things like the Strokes, that they said, oh yeah, the Strokes they're out in LA and they're just slugging away, and I'm like, we all looked at each other like,
Who? Usually anytime there was a band where there would be like, these guys have been toiling away
They've
and
been
came out of
toiling
nowhere.
away,
Everyone
came
in
out
that
of
city's
nowhere.
like, who the fuck are these
Who are
guys?
they
We've never
talking
heard of them. I mean,
It's so true. But at the time, because there was no internet, there was no other way for bands to get through. That was crippling. For us to have to figure out and have to deal with. But either way, we just persevered and we kept doing it, and we still got in the van and we still did all this stuff.
and amongst incredible waves of humiliation, because in our case, the BellRays is a name that you can kind of wrap your head around. Like, it's not too difficult to misspell the BellRays. My band's name has been misspelled in incredible manners all across the world. We've been the Streetwalkin Cheetahs. We've been the Sweet Talkin' Cheetahs. We've been the Sweet Walkin' Cheetahs. We've been the Streetwalkin' Cheetahs, Streetwalkin' Cheetahs, 3 different words, 4 different words, 2 different words, 1 word.
And these and a lot of these people though are supposed to be punk rock, and I bet they don't even know where that name comes from.
No one ever knows where the name comes
Then-
from. They're wearing an Iggy and the
you know?
Stooges t-shirt and they don't know where the name.
Do
came
you know where that name comes from? You better know. You better know.
I even remember one time, and I have a photo of this because you won't believe this, but I have a photo where we were on a tour. It was on the Nutstock tour with Fishbone and Trulio and Skeletones and Keith Morris and John Frusciante.
That was a big tour. I remember
It
that.
was a big tour, and we got to a city, and they informed us that, again, a curfew situation. We were talking about curfews earlier, that they had moved the whole show up. And so they moved us, who were the opening band, up as well. And so this is what we were told, and this is what happened. And I have the stage lineup. It says, Streetwalkin' Cheetahs, 7:30 p.m. Doors, 8 p.m.
What?
Yeah, they put us on a half an hour before
Before
Doors.
the door. I vaguely remember you talking about
and we
that.
were like, but how would anyone say? They go, well, we'll leave the doors open.
But that's...
There it is.
There it is.
That's the respect.
That's the respect. That's the respect. And when you put all of that into context, because we were talking about how people are usually, when it comes to rock and roll, people are used to hearing about train wrecks, mental, physical, people just kind of losing it. But they're usually, they want to show you some guy in some great place that he lives at Laurel Canyon, and that it's, it's just this truly rich and flamboyant thing, and then he, drinks himself to death or whatever. They never want to show you the guy that's running naked in whatever city, just trying to not, you're trying to save him from killing himself.
Now, to be fair, they didn't usually have a camera on me when I was running through the city trying to kill myself. But I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I mean, today's society is used to actually being able to see it. We were of that generation where just hearing about some crazy shit like that was like, oh, I believe you.
Well, and also people seem to think that all the drama comes with being successful,
right?
But the drama comes with being an artist,
that does.
and then getting into a van and driving to a different city every single night. And let's just see what happens. Hopefully, no one gets arrested.
Yeah.
Because you know what happens? People get arrested. But people think that like people losing their minds, becoming a drug addict, becoming abusive, all that stuff that comes with success, because that's sort of what like show business movies about Hollywood, about musicians tell you.
Because we're all grounded,
right,
well-rounded.
Until we get $1 million and we're corrupted.
Exactly, yeah.
But no, it's usually the opposite. It's usually you're already a corrupted, damaged person, and then the success or the lack of success or whatever other factors feed into that and just make you a monster.
Great point.
But you already started off a little monster. You just needed to be amplified.
You're kind of lucky if you've made it to the successful point of being debauched and just a train wreck with a lot of money.
Right.
I would love that. To be a debauched train wreck.
I know. But there's the rest of us that have to still do the tour.
Sure.
There's the rest of us that still have to put it together. There's the rest of us that have to get all the stuff in the van. And it's usually around somebody that's really an integral part of being in the band. But y'all don't know what it's like to be in the van, in the band, even if you're completely sane and you can do it. That is hard work. You know why that play is called Death of a Salesman? I mean, it's one of those things where it's not about somebody that's just gets to go home to their pillow every night, gets to do these things. There is a wear and tear that it takes on you by way of just needing to find a stage to get those, not demons out. It's just
go do your thing. I mean,
to just go do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, we are also out there trying to make money. Meaning, like, it's not just that we're out there trying to be artistic. Like,
right.
We're hoping people show up and we can get a hotel room that night.
Right. That's what making money is. Making enough money to get a hotel room.
Yeah.
Making enough money to have gas in the car. And making enough money to have gas in the car to get you to the next city. Mm-hmm. Not to get you through the whole tour.
Yeah, just to get you from the next gig.
Yeah.
You'll probably have to do it again
right.
to get to the one after that.
Yeah.
Right.
And for this entire time, all you'll be eating is pizza. Every club, they'll have a full kitchen, and then you're like, what do we get fed? They're like, pizza.
Yeah. I'm laughing. But this is to show you guys what the future is going to look like. The future is going to be very different. Because all of these places that they're saying that, save our stages and do all this stuff, which we should be doing. But the capacity thing is going to be an issue. How we're going to do those shows is going to be an issue. So everyone has got to really open their mind to what it's going to cost to have art on the road, what it's going to cost for you to be willing to view your favorite artist or whatever, what it takes to remain an artist that goes out and tour. We just got a notice today that one of the bands that we've played with for years is giving it up, and they're young guys. Yeah. The Fuzzy Vox. The Fuzzy Vox, based out of, I want to say Paris. Is that where they're based out of?
I think now. I don't think they started off there.
Yeah. But these are hard times for artists, bands, creatives, and we have to be willing, if we want good work, if we want good art, if you want good songs, if you want these people, you gotta ante up, dig deep. Understand that this is what it's worth. You can't go and try to source this stuff out to China to get a cheaper version of it. You can't go and just say, I'll just make an app that creates music and creative thought. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. You need people that are going to be willing to dig deep and commit. We were talking about too today. We were saying, those people that and if you're one of those people, you need to listen up here. If you're one of those people that says, man, I haven't picked up my guitar in years, don't call yourself a musician. Mm-hmm. Don't you do that. Don't you fucking do that.
You might own a guitar. You might be an enthusiast, a hobbyist.
That's
even.
Right. That's fine.
But if you're somehow able to just decide to put down playing music, you're not a lifer.
That's right.
Put down playing music. Are you kidding? I can't put it down when I sleep, and I'm asleep.
I know. I said if it's not a thing that you must do. We used to say this all the time in interviews. People said, "What advice do you have for young bands?" I said, "If you don't have to do it, don't do it. You only do this if you have to do it, because that's what keeps the quality level high. It doesn't mean you're going to like everything that somebody does, but it means that whoever is doing it has to do it in order to survive. They have to say whatever it is that they have to say in order to feel fulfilled."
My man Peace from Freestyle Fellowship was one time talking about, young rappers coming up, and he said, if you don't have something to say, and you don't have a way to say it, rapping is not for you.
Exactly. The same thing goes for singing. I know that there's a lot of people out there that think that it's all about going on something like American Idol or one of these shows or The Voice or whatever is, whatever new shit it is that they're out there peddling and saying that that's the easy way in and out. There is no easy way in and out. This is a messy, awful, rubbed with ham kind of, just a slick, nasty living. It's not, it's like every other job that's out there, except you have to be willing to literally cut open your veins, pour all of your life into it, to do it, to get nothing
like
in return. Frank.
Sort of. I don't know if you can see that, but anyways.
I can see it.
Yeah, well,
What is that?
it's from cutting open my veins to bleed out my life for rock and roll. I thought that's what we were exactly just talking about, actually.
Wasn't that the note?
No,
Lisa,
that
wasn't that
was
the note we were supposed to get? We were supposed to do that last night, right?
When we set up this whole thing, you told him and
Yeah.
went and did it.
No, that's
prep.
that would be the, Hollywood Alley in Mesa, Arizona in 2001.
Hollywood Alley,
God.
Fun Bobby.
Fun Bobby.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Hollywood Alley. Like, there's so many things that people just don't even, that you'll never know. Like, you'll never know what it was like to be in that bathroom at CBGB's. I mean, a lot of people probably would never want
A
to be.
fair amount of people do. That one they might know.
But they might not
Yeah.
want to ever know that as well. But there's so much stuff that lives and breathes in being in a band, going to a club, doing all of these different elements of what it is that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just here to tell you, 2020's been rough for us getting things together, and things have been shifting and changing, and it's been good and it's been bad. But what we all have to be ready for is, if you want music, you got to be ready for change. If you want music and you want creative people to be out there and doing what it is that they're doing, your mind has to open up to, it's not going back to the way it was ever.
And it's not easy for the people who do it.
No.
It's even people who make a lot of money, it's not easy to do it. So, going out and seeing live music, I feel weird saying this, you might consider it a luxury, but it is in our world, it is a luxury. But if you want to have it keep going, you have to support it.
Right.
It's like anything else, you just got to get out there and start supporting it.
And you have to be willing to look at it in different ways and ingest it in different ways. Like, I've had a couple people say, well, I only want to go see a show if it's live. I said, check this out. If a band gets on a stage and they play live and somebody records it and you've never seen it, as soon as you hit play, you're going to be watching that band play live.
Yeah.
That is what that is. That is what that is. That doesn't mean you have to be in that room. That doesn't diminish the quality of what it is that you're going to be getting. It just has to be, you have to be more willing to ingest in different ways. And, we're all willing to just kind of reach across and do different things to make this world happen. But you gonna miss me a whole lot more if I'm not here than I'll be missing you. I'm just saying. It's not a threat, but it kind of is.
It's meant in the best possible way.
Just a very strong statement.
Just
Yeah, I definitely think people got to get in the mindset that these days of like free shows and club shows and put me on the list is going to be over, because when a club that, for instance, you could fit 1,000 people in, and let's say a band
preach that.
Let's say a band is getting paid, and I'm just throwing out numbers here, say $3,000 to fill a 800 or 1,000 seat venue, and that math works out.
Right.
But if that venue can now only have, say, 400 people,
exactly,
that band is not getting paid their $3,000.
They're not getting
but
paid
the
their
band's
$3,000.
expenses did not change.
Exactly.
So the band still needs gas, still needs a van, still needs to eat, still needs a hotel room, other expenses along the way. But now they're playing not only to the visually big bummer of half full rooms all the time, and not being able to really rock with get all sweaty with them anymore.
Preach, brother, preach.
But beyond all that, there's just no way that bands, unless you're the Stones or whatever, are going to get paid the same. In which case, I go, well, then how are we going to continue touring?
Exactly. Exactly.
And if that is across the world, it's one thing for a band like us to go, oh, well, it's now literally twice as expensive for us to go across the country. But let's say you wanted to go play in Spain, like Australia. You guys tour Europe all the time. Like, those costs just got astronomical and probably unrealistic.
Astronomical, unrealistic, and they change from city to city in most cases.
Right.
They won't make a blanket. Usage. For those, like in Spain, they'll just say, oh, well, in this city, that place, you can meet 100 people at
but then
this
the
one
next
venue.
one, it's going to be a
but
different.
the next one, it might be 20.
And the thing is, the Stones can survive that. And on the biggest level, the arena acts will survive it because they have the money to take the hit if they need to and still
and
profit.
most of them play in outdoor venues.
And then most of them play in outdoor venues. And the small coffee houses and local bars will survive because there's always going to be a guy down the street who will play for $50 in beer, and then God bless him, that's great.
That's right.
Where everyone's going to get fucked are the bands at our level, Fishbone, the Super Suckers, Reverend Horton Heat, Nashville Pussy, all those middle bands that are basically doing small clubs or theaters or
that keep the industry alive.
Right, and that keep. Though, I mean, the reality is, how many giant rock concerts back before COVID would you go to a year? One or two at the most, maybe. But you go to club shows all the fucking time. But now, if all the great clubs that we've gone to, Alex's Bar in Long Beach, if, for instance, if that closes, that's the only venue that any real touring band will go to in Long Beach. So now, a big city like Long Beach have no touring bands, and it's all going to be coffee house artists and local bar bands, which is great. But I would love to see great touring bands that are playing Alex's Bar or whatever. Each town has their own version of that. And so not only is it going to get more expensive, but the reality is a lot of these middle-level bands will not be able to sustain this. And the clubs won't be able to sustain it. And so the clubs that don't make it through this period that we're in now, like it will be crippling, maybe not to the national music scene, as you read about it in Rolling Stone and Spin, but if your town only had one club that a band with a record deal would go to, and that club shut down COVID, you're not getting shows anymore. Right. And if the town next to you and the town next to you had the same thing, and in the case where we live, a lot of bands at our level don't play LA because it's too expensive. So what do? They go to the Observatory in Santa Ana, or they go to Alex's Bar, or they go to San Diego, or they go to blah, blah, blah. Well, if all of those are shut down and LA is now even more expensive, no more West Coast tours either.
Right. Because it's already hard to go and tour. To be a band from the West Coast and to tour the West Coast has always been very difficult. Yep. That's why you always hear about these bands that break that are from the East Coast, because they can just do that run up and down. Right. But who knows what they can do anymore either. I mean, I know that that people that secure these shows, places like, it's not Clear Channel anymore. What's it called?
Live Nation.
Live Nation. Yeah, they've been gutting deals that they've had with pre-existing tours that are being rescheduled, where they're saying, well, yeah, we're still keeping the show and the capacity has changed, but you're not getting, even though this is already sold and we have enough people that have paid for it and haven't gotten their money back, you're not getting what we said you were going to get.
Yeah,
we're going to restructure the deal, which is, like, if that's going to be the thing that's going to be happening too, we got to, everybody's just got to be ready for things to change. Everybody's got to be ready to pay more for good music. Everybody's got to be willing to maybe be the host of a salon show. You know, we have to really start thinking about more creative ways to do it, but we also have to do it smartly in the midst of a pandemic. So, you know, this whole idea of getting back to normal wasn't that great in the first place, but now it's still a lot harder. It's a lot harder to do, but we still have something to say. And there's a lot of people out there, you know, that are supporting this kind of music, that need this kind of music. So you're going to have to work. We're all going to have to work to keep it going.
Yep.
Isn't that a Merry Christmas? Or like a hard candy Christmas.
Merry Christmas, shitter soul.
No. But I'm just telling you, we do a lot to bring you joy all year round. And this is still a joyful talk. We're healthy. We can talk about it. But these are the things we need to be thinking about. I don't want to hear I don't want to get a text message back from anybody saying, this show that you have online costs too much. This thing here costs too much. First of all, you don't know. You don't know how much we've been absorbing all these years. Every band, everywhere. For every superstar band you see out there, there has been the death of thousands of bands that were putting their bodies there for them to basically drive over, because we've been keeping the industry alive. And now it's going to be something new. We're going to have to do different things. And I'm really grateful to have the fans that I've had in the past that have been giving donations, that have been doing all of these other things. But we're going to just have to really think past, okay, I've been giving donations so that we can get back to where we were. But we have to be thinking, okay, this is the new industry. It's more cottage, more... it's going to cost more for a show. It's going to be worth it more for you to be at a show. Because the other thing I got tired of is people showing up to a show and acting like they have more shit to do on their phone.
Just stand in front of me while I'm sweating, looking at your phone. I'm right here.
Or talking to their friend.
Right.
That's one of those things.
How about, you know what? How about when someone... I don't care if people tape the show.
Yeah,
although
I don't
whoever watches those videos. But like, how about, I mean, really, how often do you go, but oh my God, I got to watch this show from 2 weeks ago through this one tiny little prism. But like, how about when people just hold their phone up and then they're watching their phone while the entertainment is
they're
happening.
missing it all. It's like Wall-E.
Right.
I didn't know we had a pool. That's what it's like. That's what it's like. It's that, and that, I mean, to me, that movie totally speaks to what we've been going through.
I mean, it doesn't actually speak because there's no language in the movie, but I see what you're saying.
But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know.
And the hook of the movie actually was that there was no. Anyway.
I get it, Frank.
I think I'm about to get the hat again.
This is me getting it. This is the face
of
getting it.
Oh.
But that's the thing, people. We got to get close. This has been a great opportunity. There's so many people that look at 2020 as like, oh my God, we've been separated. This is the time for us to realize how important it is once we are able to get back together, how we shouldn't just try to get back into the rush and hustle and bustle of the way life used to be. This might be one of those moments where right before it really gets bad, where somebody says, here's a moment where everybody could just kind of say, I get it. I'm supposed to slow down and really take in the good and really absorb the positive energy that goes with what's going on around me, not just kind of pass through it, not look at it like it's something that's, oh, I didn't notice that, I'm just saying. I don't know everything, but I know a few things. And that seems like a good one.
It's true.
She doesn't know many things.
Sure, she doesn't know many things. I've been telling people that for years. It's like, Lisa, she doesn't know much. There's a few things. But I like your more positive spin on that exact. That's cool.
It is, yeah. But it is. It's one of those things. I mean, it's already, if you got shit to eat and it's in the pie, you might as well put some salt on it.
And if that doesn't say Christmas,
Merry Christmas, everybody.
That doesn't say Christmas 2020.
Merry Christmas,
big old shit
everybody.
pie.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. All right, that's us. This has been. I don't know what this is. Maybe this will be something different, something new.
Yeah, you'll see it at some point.
Talking with Bob and Lisa.
Yeah.
And Frank.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
has been Frank too.
Why don't we do a little Christmas time again as outro music?
Sure.
Let's do it.
Do it.
The one we played before, that song? Oh, okay. Familiar.
We could do it now.
Okay.
Who does it? Who starts it?
I do, but you gotta but stop yelling at me and I'll start the song.
Frank.
1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa, it's Christmas time again. Hanging with my friends, trying to soak in. It's a neat kind of feeling, just to hang around. I gathered up my promises. It's time to settle down. Whoa, Christmas time again. It's time to make amends. It's time to fit in. It's a crazy time.